The Survivor Specialist, Phil and Blake are back, and today we are digging deeper into episode number 8 of Survivor 49. Is this supposed to be episode 9? Did I mess that up?
This
Anyway,
is 9.
This is 9. I messed it up. We're digging deeper in episode number 9 of Survivor 49, and I'm going to fix that. And it feels weird, but we are joined by Alexa, and I did not say Survivor Specialist Alexa, but Alexa is here, and Alexa is ready to...
Do you lose your specialism?
It felt really messed up to hear Survivor Specialist Phil and Blake. I know. I was like, what? Wait, excuse me?
You've been replaced.
I want you to know where you stand, pun intended.
Oh, yeah. And she's not standing.
Yeah. So Alexa, everybody's been like, where's Alexa? Where's Alexa? Where's Alexa? So Alexa pulled the Phil. For anybody who's wondering, Alexa got married, and that wasn't just good enough for her. She had to make it all about herself. So Alexa, why are you podcasting from your bed right now?
I'm podcasting from my bed because I dropped a knife on my foot last week while I was cooking. So don't recommend cooking anymore. And I had to get surgery to replace a tendon. So sorry for my background. And like Phil said, I got married, very exciting. But what's even more exciting is that I then got to play the in sickness and in health card, not even 30 days after.
And what sucks is I did the same thing. I mean, I was on my honeymoon, and it sucks because now they try to pull that on you later on in the marriage, and you're like, screw you. Like, just because you already sat through it doesn't mean I have to sit through it now. Like, just grow up. Don't get sick.
So Rachel has to be a beacon of health for the rest of your lives.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
What kind of knife?
Yeah.
What kind of knife?
Yeah.
You know, it was brand new. So whoever gifted me that, I might have had a conversation with that.
Also, though, like, good on them to give you such a good knife that it could cut your tendon from falling on the ground. I mean, that's a good knife. That's a good friend. They just didn't know you couldn't hold things.
Yeah, I'm the problem. But yeah, it didn't go straight down. It actually just kind of like plopped on my foot. So if anyone is interested, I can drop the link to the brand and see if we can get some sponsorship. But yeah, fantastic knife, works like a dang charm.
There you go. I love it. That's what Alexa's here for, everybody. Alexa called me and she was like, I've never been more bored. I'm not allowed to get out of my bed. Please help. And I was like, okay. And here she is on the podcast. 6-hour podcast coming your way, everybody.
I'm so excited to be back. I've really missed podcasting. And I'm super available. So
yeah. Yeah, that's actually good. I'll tell Teg with that, because sometimes when she does Matt Chat, she's like been struggling to get some guests sometimes. I'll be like, hey, Alexa is doing nothing. Thanksgiving has never been less thankful for Alexa than that.
I would love to do a Matt Chat.
There you go. What so yeah, Thanksgiving plans ruined or no?
I think I get to fold napkins now instead of like cooking or something like that. So, or maybe writing name tags, but probably just watching some football and elevating my foot, which sounds great.
There you go. I mean, that's what most of America is
going to be doing. That's my Monday night.
Yeah. You have the dream of not having to be sucked into cleaning dishes and stuff. Good for you.
I know, it's really nice to feel like, oh, the foot, even though it's actually not good.
And if your brother is, I've never met your brother, but if he's a pain in the ass, I hope he offers to let you carve the turkey. I really do. Yeah. Because I think at this point, you know, all knife things should
I'll get the electric turkey carver just to really lay it on.
Yeah, he can be, oh, don't fall. Oh, okay. Anyway, we're talking about episode number 9, which I did realize is what it's supposed to be called. I totally screwed up the name of the episode. So welcome back, everybody. But we're diving into last night's episode. We'll get Alexa's thoughts on the entire season. Blake will do about 3 or 4 10-minute rants where he just complains nonstop. He is nodding already. Yeah,
Blake, that's no fun.
This season is good.
That's his personality. No, Alexa, everybody on the recap says I'm very negative, but then I get on with Blake and they're like, where did you find this guy?
Oh my gosh. Let people make their own decision. Maybe they love it, you know?
That's why they keep coming back. Alexa, what's your take so far?
Oh man. So I'm curious what you guys think, because obviously you're watching week over week. I didn't watch for the entire first month. So I've really watched it over the course of 2 weeks. I enjoyed the pre-merge. I can see how week over week it was really slow, but it didn't have a payoff, especially because after this week we lose Alex. Like Alex and Sophie, I was just expecting there to be something between them, and it really turned out to be just the final 2 people on that tribe, and that sort of just died off. I'm in love with Sage. I loved Sage versus Shannon. I think that was the best storyline of the season, and also it felt completely real. I think there's just, in a lot of modern Survivor, there's a lot of very, very meta gameplay, meta conversations, and that was just two people who were not vibing. And so I absolutely loved that. I'm struggling now with this majority alliance because they need to get rid of Rizo, Savannah, and I'm not calling her Soph because she doesn't want to be called Soph, and Blue Sophie. So I don't know. I'm like ringing my TV. I'm like, why can't you get them out?
So that's been the conversation that everybody's been having right now. And I think it's been kind of fun because today I had this thought of, that's why the name of this is Rizo Domination or History Repeating. And here's Blake sitting here, and Blake last season infamously said that Joe had a 98.6% chance of winning Survivor 48 when it was clear as day Joe's not winning that. But whatever forums Blake goes on, that's what they all said. So Blake just nodded along. I wonder, and I'm going to pose this now because I want to know where everybody goes with this. Could we be getting duped for the second time? Where because two people are on 50, they are getting way better edits than they would have gotten in a normal season were they not to be on 50. And so they're like, Survivor's protecting their investment. They're protecting the people that are going further. I'm not saying that Savannah and Rizo need protection. I'm just saying right now, both of them don't look very flawed. And everybody's sitting here saying, you got to get rid of them. You got to get rid of them. You got to get rid of them or you're an idiot. Well, Kyle Fraser listened to that for 13 weeks and he's a millionaire. So because Eva and Joe, they got a really good edit and ultimately didn't win. And I thought Kyle's edit was there the whole time. And I've been saying, a lot of people think Sage can win. I'm not really seeing that, although I love Sage. I think Jawan could win. I still think Sophie Valerity's the favorite. But are we potentially being led to believe, just like last season, that these people got to go, the idol's too dangerous, they're going to win if they get there? But in reality, they're not the winners of this season, and they're like, somebody is realizing that they can beat them at the end.
Blake, I feel something bubbling up. You can go first.
I think it's interesting because there were some haters in the chat being like, okay, huge moment. It's time for Savannah to tell Blue Sophie, I'm actually a news reporter. And everyone was like, man, screw that moment. I hate stuff like that. It doesn't matter at all. Why would be the only thing that matters is you knew that she was. Why did you take her to the end? She's such an oratory master. She's going to crush you guys. Maybe that's where I fell last time, was my 97.8 person didn't have the skills to talk at a final tribal. But I think the one thing that maybe you're paying attention into tweets, or what is the difference of Savannah between her and some other people we've seen on Survivor over the last 25 years, is intensity. And she is more intense. And that intensity, how could we reward that? Well, if I explain the word intense, I explain why I'm intense, what that meant, how I felt this whole time, and that intensity propelled me to get to this final three, not hampered me, not whatever kind of word. She's going to be saying this so much better than me. But it's something where you're like, that's the storyline where I'm like, is this the one I'm supposed to pay attention to? Of Sophie is supposed to go, oh, you're going to be good at final tribal. Because there's some other things where it's like, nobody cares about your job. It's like, well, you don't want to go against 3 lawyers if you don't have to. You don't want to go, or, oh, this lawyer is kind of a clumsy guy. Like Jake O'Kane lawyer versus Mama Julie lawyer. Those are all the right people's names. Katura lawyer. Those are going to kick your ass a little bit. Jake, hey, he's laughing a bit. He's about to be a lawyer. He hasn't been doing this for a long time. And I think there's something to do with Jawan talking about his job every single time, of like, it's a horror movie, bringing in another movie analogy, I think, this past episode. So I think that's why Savannah, I think people would bet against her because everyone has said she has mean girl energy. They don't say the words, she's a mean girl, I don't like her. They say Savannah has mean girl energy, which is a not completely different, but like those are 2 different levels of, I would not vote for a mean girl, but I would vote for somebody that has mean girl energy that I misunderstood my entire time on the island.
So like, it's not maroon, it's like a brownish red. Those are totally different things, right? Like, so what do you think?
I feel like, I guess to go to your original question, like, Rizzo and Savannah versus Joe and Eva. I think because I remember saying that too. I think what's feels more frustrating if you're supporting the majority alliance. Rizzo and Savannah were on the top, got knocked to the bottom, and are climbing their way back up, versus Joe and Eva were always on top. So at one point it flipped from, oh, they're huge threats to, oh, I'm not scared of them at all. Rizzo and Savannah are continuing to rise. And I guess everyone was also talking about how Joe and Eva were big threats. So I think that's one part. The mean girl energy thing is, I don't know if that's people not wanting to say that because like calling someone a mean girl on TV is like just going to come with a lot of repercussions on Savannah and the person who says it. I am finding both of them very compelling. I think what I like about both Savannah and Sage for different reasons is that they're being presented as they are very complicated people who will say something that is frustrating and cocky. And then Savannah, the next confessional, I find myself completely empathizing with her. So I like that. I love, when she was staring down MC digging for that idol, I would have been pissed about that. But that's her playing really intense. Like that, I think that's the right word, Blake. So I am I feel like we know too much behind the curtain because of season 50, and that is what's making watching it frustrating, because I do think that other people on the season are compelling, but we're not given the opportunity just because of what's going on.
And here's how I feel about it. We obviously didn't know that Joe was coming back and Camilla was coming back, and that
Eva's not. It's just Joe, right?
Eva's not coming back. So it's Joe, Camilla, and Kyle are coming back. So we didn't know that those three were coming back, and we don't know if Survivor knew that when it was being edited. They probably knew Joe was coming back. I don't know if Kyle and Camilla were as locked in, but I'm sure they asked Joe the second he got off the plane. When we watch this though, this season, the fact that I know most of this cast as well as I do is why I almost feel like it's still not Rizzo or Savannah that ultimately win. Because you can't tell me we don't know Jawan and we don't know Sage. We do. You can't tell me that we don't know Steven way better than we should know Steven. We know Steven so well, despite the fact that he's gone to like 2 or 3 tribal councils. We know last night he was eating up a bunch of screen time. He had nothing to do with the episode. He won immunity. That was it. He was out of the vote, on the wrong side. He was left out. He went over to Sage and told her the thing about the idol. That was really it. We know Sophie Bilardi so well. I mean, like I said, I keep saying I think she's the favorite, but when I sit there and I watch this, I say, I know these people so much better. If Savannah and Rizzo were going to win, and if they were going to be on 50, you could just turn this into the Russell Hantz show. You could do exactly what you did in Samoa because you know it. You have the hindsight 2020. They're not dominating screen time in a way. They're great when they're on it, but it's not. I mean, Russell was what, 108, and the next highest was like 40. Like that's not what we're seeing here. In fact, I think Rizzo is 3rd or 4th on the season in terms of confessional. I think he has fewer than Alex had when Alex went home last night. I don't know Alex from shit right now. So that's where I feel like it's not over. And I feel like 50 is messing with people's minds for sure. So we'll see.
That's a really good point, Phil. I think, yeah, it's easy to say we don't know the other people as well, but I think honestly, the reality of it is Rizzo and Savannah are very strong TV presences. Savannah, of course she's good at it, but both of them are very compelling. And Rizzo is like, he's really intense in confessionals. So I think there's also, it's kind of like the Jonathan Penner situation too. Like if Jonathan Penner had the same amount of confessionals as someone else, he is just louder and there's more to him. So it's going to seem like it's being shoved in your face. And I think also people are probably subconsciously very frustrated that 2 people from 49 are even on season 50. So there's a subconscious frustration aimed at them that isn't their fault. I think they're both really interesting.
And you're not one of those people, right, Alexa? Because Rizgot says OG specialist Alexa is back.
Is this actually him?
That is Rizgot.
R-I-Z G-O-D.
Oh my gosh, hi.
If it's not, it's a great impersonator. That's for sure.
I do want to say though, too, like when you go to a baseball game or you're like, and you brought someone along, it's their first time. If you tell them, hey, watch this guy, he's going to be your favorite player, they're not going to have as much as oh, who's that guy? I really like him. And they could like him because he's got weird hair. Or Kike Hernandez is kind of a jokester. And it's like, well, that's not normally what I care about in baseball players. I care about people that hit home runs. But it's like, that's your favorite player. And Jeff Probst, CBS, all of those people said, pay attention to Savannah and Rizgon. They didn't say it exactly, but it's so implied. And it is, these are our votes for 50.
Yeah.
So would we put the same people on? Hey, I am kind of really enjoying everything Savannah's doing. And Rizgon has been some of the most like steel balls ever.
You can say tactical on here. It's fine. You're good.
Yeah, like I would use my idol one of the 3 times he has not done that. Like, it is legitimately insane. He is pushing his limit. He's pushing his luck to the limit and basically being like, I'm going to control everything even though I'm at the bottom, which is super cool if we didn't know to expect this a month and a half ago.
Well, and I think Will has brought that point up a couple times on the recap where he has said this season on a rewatch could end up being all time, because what is actually happening in the episodes, especially over the last like 5 weeks, I think pretty much since the Jason boot, because that was when they set up Shannon and Sage, it's been great. The problem is the decoy has always been Rizzo or Savannah. And so I go through this now because I'm watching the seasons in order with my wife. She watched Winners at War with me, so she knows who wins a lot of the seasons. So when it's Denise versus Penner at Final 7 of Philippines, she knows that Denise is going to survive that and that Penner is going to go home. But that vote is absolutely incredible. That episode is awesome. It doesn't matter. Even if you know who's going to survive it, it's still awesome. And especially back when we watched it and didn't know who was going to survive it, we're going, oh my God, Penner versus Denise. This feels like for everything. And it was for everything. And so when I rewatch it now, I still have such an appreciation, even though I know what's going to happen, because it's just an excellent vote. But as my wife is watching it, this is the first time she's watching it. So she doesn't get to have that first experience that we all had. That's kind of how it feels a little bit here. But I still feel like there's a fun mystery going on of who is actually going to win this season. Because the top 5 or the top 6, in my opinion, not counting Sophie Segretti and not counting Christina, I think the top 6 absolutely have a chance to win this game. And if you don't think they have any chance, I'd love to hear why you don't think those 6 people can win. Did
Kyle win by the time 50 started filming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no. I don't know. Yeah, they had to have seen it. Yeah, because he played, they announced it after, because I was on vacation when they announced.
Okay, because I don't necessarily think Savannah or Rizzo are shoo-ins to win. I think for me, it's more of like the viewing, like being spoiled, quote unquote, on like the viewing of it all. But no, I don't think either of them are guaranteed to win. I agree with you, Phil. I think even I like other Sophie. That's awful. Yellow Sophie. But I understand why, like, edit wise, she won't win.
Crazy if they have such fun last names where it's like, Jeff, how did you not just say Segretti Balerdi the whole time?
It's
amazing.
So bad. And
it's
I don't
like
know if they're
spaghetti
trying to avoid.
You know what the problem is?
Are they trying to avoid the Bachelor thing, the Sophie S and Sophie B?
Oh, that I don't know. I feel like what they're really doing is like women they can't get last name status on Survivor. Jeff
Christina.
only reserves that for men. Just Donaldson and Mariano. And
Gretty's a great name.
I know. I just have to say that. I know, because that'll make the stands out there who are like, Jeff hates women. It's like, there you go. There's something for you.
He should have gone, but that's actually such good. Also, if they rhyme, that's even better.
It's even better. Balerdi Segretti. This is amazing.
But anyways, where I was going with this is, I don't think that on season 50, like the 2 complete unknowns to the rest of the cast, I don't think it would make sense for one of them to be the winner of this season.
I also think what's happening is the rumor that's out there, and Blake, I know, can definitely speak more to this, is that Savannah got in and it was between her and Marianne is what people are saying on the internet.
They're different.
Well, but they're thinking that the one thing that they'd have in common is they both
Ooh.
won. And I think that's why people are saying this. But what I say is if Marianne was going to be on that third tribe and they originally wanted one winner on each, and then they ultimately elected to replace Marianne, well, if you're replacing Marianne, that means you're putting Savannah in her spot, whether she wins or loses. It doesn't matter. She's going in that spot because that's where Marianne was. So I don't even know. I mean, again, I don't even know if that's true. That's just the rumor that circles the internet, is that it was Marianne who was the other woman. And that's why they're thinking, I think that's why Blake's over here with this shitting grin on his face being like, of course Savannah wins. You guys can't see it. It's right there.
Is there an even number of winners on 50?
If
Like,
Each
Savannah
tribe
wins,
has
each tribe would
one if Savannah wins. If Rizo wins, it's 2-1-0 on a tribe, which would be
and if
weird.
neither wins, it's 1-1-0. And
Because on 40, each tribe had 10 winners.
get out of here.
that's crazy. Like, how did you figure that out?
That is too much speculation.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's start this then. Luke Straub hit us with the super chat. Great podcast as always. Does Steven still have a chance to win after last night's episode? So Steven voted wrong last night. He goes to Sage. He tells Sage about the idol that Christina found to build trust with Sage. His number one, Jawan, and his number 1A, Sage, leave him out of the vote. Where are you feeling with Steven right now?
I really like Steven. I don't feel great about his position because this episode started with I really liked what he said. I forget what he said. He was like, I see that Sage and Jawan are in the power position and I want them to feel comfortable with me. And then that didn't end up working out. So I don't really know who he goes to now.
What do you think, Blake?
Ooh, okay. I don't like Steven's chances of winning as much as maybe Phil is trying to lead us to believe. I think Steven is very much I'm a white guy that's this age or whatever. He is the whitest white guy that has white guyed on Survivor in a long time. I don't know if you guys feel that, but it's like somebody just being like, all right, tell us some facts about space. And he was like, I thought you guys would never ask. And you're like, okay, white guy. And then it's like, white guy's good at using the leg exercise. And you're like, okay, this is some hardcore white guy energy.
That
And
Pilates challenge was brutal.
yeah, like, and there was just some other stuff where I'm like, what sticks out to me about Steven in a game sense? Like, who is he working with? Okay, it just feels I don't want to say milk toast. I like it. It's not bland. It's not vanilla, but it's something where it's like
it's Julia Landauer is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like the flavor he's putting into this gumbo is not the one where I'm like, I need more of this. So I don't need another Steven confessional. I'm like, I think he's a solid player, but I don't see winner from him at all because they would be trying to make him pop instead of being the background flavor.
You don't feel like last
I see
night
relatable fan from him, not winner. I agree.
I think you relate to him because you're a fan, Phil, and you're a white guy.
I don't think that's true at all.
I find him relatable in the, like, when he won individual immunity and he started just like blabbing about nothing. I was like, oh, that's me. Like, I would be so nervous and so excited. But to me, it's like, it's endearing. I'm enjoying watching him and I really like him, but I don't know. Like, Phil, what do you think, like, his argument would be at the final tribal?
I think his game probably would start now. I think his argument at Final Tribal would be, I made the bottoms up alliance. That's what I needed to do. When I got left out by the bottoms up alliance, I still managed to find a way to fight through the game. I made an absolutely dog shit kangaroo joke at Tribal Council. That should get me at least one vote.
That is the white guy shit.
Yeah, see, and what's making me
get
laugh
out of here, bro.
Like,
Don't you
who do
dare
I relate
waste
to?
Jeff Probst's time. He
Like,
is
Steven isn't
millionaire.
probably not even top 5 people I relate to on this season. So I think you're making giant leaps there.
Oh,
Blake.
you make weird jokes all the time, Filbert. Come on.
I just think that I don't know if there was a joke. I just think that last night, he had no business. We had all the stuff about space. We had the kangaroo thing at Tribal. We had the weird moment after he won the challenge. They went out of their way to have him telling Sage at the beginning of that episode, that could have been left on the cutting room floor. If everything that MC and other players who've been voted out so far are saying is true, there's a lot of stuff that has been left on the cutting room floor that felt important to the game. Last night, I complained about this last night. We get Christina starting the episode saying, I was going to the final 3 with MC. And I'm like, since when? Where is Rob Sesternino to scream since when at the top of his lungs? And so when I look at Steven, they gave him so much stuff last night in a vote that he was wrong about. And for me, I just sit here and I say, look, the guy still has a confessional in every episode. He's still clinging. Out of all the Hinas who are left, he's the one who has a confessional in every episode, not Christina, not Sophie. And he's not that far behind these other players. Will and I looked up the time chart too. He's not that far behind players like Jawan and Sage and Rizo, which is crazy to think about.
I think if he can whip the Bottoms Up Alliance to get one of the, I'll call them like the bottom 3 of the Rizo, Sophie, and Savannah, if he can like get Sage and Jawan back on track and get rid of one of them, then I think that's huge for him. Because you're right that when he survived whatever split tribal that was, like that was him and Jawan really bonding. So there is something there. I think I don't want to, I hate like repeating a talking point that I found on the internet, but like there's a lot of showing and not telling. And I think there's a lot about Jawan that I like can't figure out what his plan is. And we're just being told like, oh yeah, Jawan doesn't trust Rizo, but now he's going to keep voting with him.
Jawan is playing very in the middle right now. And Blake, I know now that Alexa just ratted on you and said, I don't like repeating internet.
All you got to do is say, I saw a really cool thing on the internet and I agree with it.
Yeah.
No, I was like,
and just keep it rolling.
Because you just said exactly what Blake has been using as a point for like 6 weeks of there's a lot of showing, not telling, or telling, not showing, or whatever. He's been saying that for 6 weeks. I didn't realize that was an internet theory.
That's what I meant. Telling, not showing. Well, I've been trying to like, I'll like watch and go on Reddit like days later because I don't want it to impact my opinion. But I saw all that today and I was like, oh, that is a good way to describe like how I'm feeling about it. It's telling, not showing. I'm doing it backwards.
Yeah.
But Blake, you were clearly ahead of the curve. So I actually, you just,
Blake just watches the curve. That's all.
Blake is the Reddit troll.
Yeah.
I wish that would be a very cool life for me. I think I found my new favorite. Hey, if you're going on Survivor 52 and you're watching us because you want some ideas of what to do, if you go into a, what is it called? Camp in the middle of the night, wake somebody up and then ask them like, did you see who left? And you get their unadulterated, like, this is my real reaction of I have barely been awake for 7 seconds. I thought MC would come back. And I haven't even thought. I'm just saying immediately, what? Sophie's still here? What happened? And Sophie getting all that information of this is what these people truly feel like. Yeah. I wonder if that becomes part of like if you want a real answer, wake them up in the middle of the night and ask them.
I loved that. That was so real.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Like Sophie's like, oh crap, why is everyone so surprised that I'm here? I thought that was a really, like, I loved that scene.
Do you think that Sophie is locked in 100% with that other group of 3? Or do you think that now she's actually in a power position where she can be the one who makes them think they're so comfortable and says, I'm with you, and then ultimately flips back on them? I mean, because does she think she can beat Sophie, Savannah, and Rizo? There's no way, right?
I would bet Sophie goes home next week or something based on how the season is going, of like the flips, the flops. Hey, thanks for this one vote. Bye. And like, we know more about Steven. We keep talking about it. I saw some people in the chat being like, Steven feels like the last Hina. Like that, maybe we're getting more information from Steven and how he feels, because this is just the Brett of the season who's going to be there at Final 5 and Final 4. And like, oh crap, we have to beat Steven or he's going to win this season or something like that.
Because they did do a very good job of editing Brett and Samoa. That's a good point. Yeah, he was so relevant the whole time. Alexa, you had no reaction to Julia Landauer before. You know who that is, right?
I do know who that is.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
No, when you made that comparison, I was like, I actually think that is so disrespectful to Steven. Because I like he's like a goofball. Like he makes me feel
What are your top 32 Steven moments from the season then?
Honestly, every moment of this episode made me cringe, but it made me feel something.
There you go.
At least I like had versus like
he'll probably write that in his Instagram bio. Made people cringe all throughout Survivor 49, looking for more seasons to be on for 54
but at least they
and
felt
beyond.
something. But I may make you cringe, but you'll feel something. I like that.
Oh yeah, someone's gonna write that down. I am also liking Sophie, but this is also maybe my like binging opinion. I didn't realize how missing she was in the beginning, but I also chalk that up to we completely decimated a tribe, so we had to focus on them. I'm liking her, but Phil, are you saying that you think that Blue Sophie is going to win? Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, I think so. Well, first, I want to comment on Sophie Segretti. I think it's shocking that her edit was as small as it was. Now that we're actually hearing her, I feel like with her back against the wall, she's like a rat trying to scurry out, man. And she's like, I'll kill whoever I need to. I do not care. And I think it's been awesome to watch. What is that, Game of Thrones, where they light the thing on fire and it like chews through the people? That's her. She is doing that. She is like, I will
Fast and the Furious too, bro.
And that's a high compliment if you're listening, Sophie.
Yeah, no, I think she's been great. And it's kind of what I was saying when we just rewatched Survivor One World for our Patreon. I said Troyzan in that season is much better than he is in Game Changers because his back's against the wall. And then he gets to Game Changers, his back's not against the wall. You don't get the fire from Troyzan, which, by the way, is my podcast partner here on Monday when I do predictions of power rankings. But I know, Alexa, he's going to be very pissed that you're not on that. But
sad to miss him. Tell him I say hi.
I will. So anyway, I just feel like Sophie is much more interesting when her back's against the wall. And so they've decided to start telling the story now. But yeah, I still think Sophie Bellardi wins because her story is the best story. She's not the target of anyone, which is so insane to me. She's not the target.
Last night. She would have.
Yeah, but she was the split. They didn't want it to be her. They couldn't vote for Savannah because she had immunity. And they wanted to split it between Rizo and Sophie only because they knew that if Rizo played the idol, they can't get rid of Savannah. They want Savannah out. They want Rizo out. They do not want Sophie Bellardi out at this point. Sophie Bellardi also has the knowledge is power, which I think she is going to use successfully against Christina coming up. And I think she has the best story. If she sits at final 3, she cannot lose. She beats anybody who sits in final 3 with her.
Is her knowledge is power actually completely private? Like, do Savannah and
Based
Rizo
on what we know, nobody knows besides
Sophie. It looks
Sophie.
like in the preview for next week, her and Savannah are sitting on the hammock and she tells Savannah, but I could be wrong. But right now it's private.
I feel like it's completely private, which has made me like her and respect her so much more. I hope that she keeps it that way. Because I feel like the reason that I can't think of the last time that there was a completely private idol or advantage until the moment of it being played. And I think that is so much more powerful, especially now when early on in the season, you are required to present to the class on how your journey went, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
You forgot about Seuss May's idol so early, so soon.
Just one in one ear, out the other.
So you read our comments for yesterday's episode too, huh, Blake?
Oh, they talked about Seuss May's?
Yeah, of course they did. You had to have read that.
I haven't. This is the only one I remember because I know it's such a, that was a nothing burger of saving it for who. I think the other thing that kind of blew my mind was the yellow squad, the Hina people. We lost MC, but we're all 3 walking, and it felt like a very much like a West Wing type scene of walking and talking, of maybe we don't have time to stop and have people see that we're having this meeting. But they did check in with Sophie. I don't think they really apologized of sorry, we had that a reaction. We did think MC was going to go. I don't think they really said their piece and mended a fence, but they did share information strategically of here's what's going to happen. What do you guys think? Is there going to be a split vote? What do we do? And Sophie takes all of that in. And I think the next scene is giving that all away where you're like, damn, I guess who is blowing this by talking to yellow? Who's going to lose because of this?
I also wanted to point out Rizo last night, because this just made me think of it. Rizo last night was openly telling Jawan who was going home while Sophie Segretti was also standing right there. And I thought that was really interesting and was really confident. And it showed Rizo how that he's confident in the players around him. Some people might say, man, that's a dumb move. He's telling Jawan, we want to vote out Alex. He's too much in front of Sophie as well. But that's kind of showing like, well, I'm good with both of you. I am totally fine with you both having this information because I trust you enough. Even if he doesn't, he's letting them believe that. And that could be why Sophie Segretti's running back and telling them this info. I mean, it feels like Sophie has really found her way in. And if she had one confessional on episode number 3, I would be saying that she still has a shot in this game because I think her story is picking up. It almost feels like Michelle, where it's picking up when it makes sense for it to pick up. It couldn't be there early on because she never went to tribal. Now, all of a sudden, I mean, in the last couple of episodes, everybody knows I love my confessionals. She has 15 confessionals in the last 3 episodes. That's more than Sophie Bellardi. That's more than Rizo. The only people that's fewer than is Savannah, Jawan, and Sage.
It's pretty darn good.
It's crazy. Like that, and that would probably blow people's minds, but she's in it. Like she's there, but she's got the Joe Hunter episode 3 0 vote confessional or 0 confessional, and that's just what's killing her.
Is Joe the only person to win after getting a 0 vote confessional, right?
In the new era, yeah. After Erica, he's the only one who won without a confessional in every episode. Poor Blake. He really still thinks Joe won. Did Joe ever send you his signed winner poster?
I was about to say, what am I missing here?
Yeah. Blake sent Joe a letter that was like, congratulations on winning season 48. This was like 6 weeks in. And he asked Joe to sign a picture of like him in like his firefighter like outfit and stuff. It was crazy.
How'd that go?
You're such a dick, Phil. I think it was something where I love Joe and then I learned to love Kyle. So let's go. Oh, wait, they're both on. I can root for both of them. And Joe can win next season. And we can do this all over again. Joe's my winner pick for 50. One other thing I wanted to say about, I know this isn't quite a recap, but did you guys give credence to Savannah's thought process of, if I don't win immunity, none of this scramble happens. None of this game happens. None of you guys move up a ladder. None of you guys go down a ladder. Certainly Alex doesn't go home if I don't win immunity right now. So I'm not saying I'm the person driving this game. I am saying I'm the person that set this game in motion another round. And I think that energy has not been in the new era at all, of someone saying that, meaning it, and it kind of falling on everyone's ears. But how did that feel for you guys?
Yeah, Alexa, do you think it's true? I think that's the question here, right? Do you think Savannah really would have gone home and the game would have been played if she didn't win immunity?
She certainly would have gotten votes, I think. Or at least the way they were talking about it. I mean, the way that people like are scrambling before each tribal council, like maybe not, but I certainly think she could have gone home, but that's the energy we are missing, Blake. And that's like, people are using the word villain. There's a lot of words, but like, to me, it is like that beautiful border between confidence and overconfidence, which is, it's like harmless. She's not a bad person, but it's like, oh, I like don't want her to win because of that, but also I do because she is kind of right. Yeah. So I love it. It is the like, I feel like there's a lot of like, oh, I don't want to like do the wrong thing, and like in the new era, and she's got no problem with it, and I love that.
Yeah, it's like so many people are scared to step on toes.
Yeah, and she's not doing anything wrong. She's being like cocky.
Yeah, I miss back in the day when it was roll the cube over Rupert's toe. You know what I mean? Like I want that. I want it to be like demolish. Like don't just step on the toe, run it over with a car. Like let's see what happens here. And I feel like Savannah's in that position where she's willing to say things that might make people uncomfortable, that might make people look at her a little sideways and go, I don't think so. I do not think that Savannah would have gone home last night because I think Sophie Segretti was locked in with that group last night. I think that if they tried to split votes, it would have been a 4-3-2. Savannah's side wins, and I still think it's the same result where Alex goes home. And I think Rizzo's mind was so set on it that I think Jawan and Sage might have gone that way. I do think Sophie Segretti's role in this season and last night's vote led to Jawan and Sage potentially making the decision that they made. But I will say that like Savannah saying those things at least puts in people's minds of Savannah, is she playing up that she's a big threat, or is she a big threat? And if she's playing it up, is the jury buying it? And if she gets to the end, should I be scared of her? Because that's something a lot of times people always talk about. You don't want to take credit too early because then you end up like Emily Flippin and you go home early. Is Savannah trying to take credit, or is she so good at not needing credit that instead she's just saying, I'm a threat. I know I'm a threat. Let me let you all know I'm a threat, but there's nothing you can do about it right now. And she also knows she has the extra vote, so there's really nothing they can do about it next week either.
I like her taking credit. I think it's great. I think, like you said, Phil, everyone is trying to play so, in the new era, everyone kind of has to play so under the radar, but not too under the radar. So it is fun to see someone saying like, yeah, I'm a threat. And that, like you said, like maybe it makes them a threat, maybe it makes them not a threat, but it's certainly making people think. But again, this is one episode. She has an extra vote, and the pace at which the game happens is like they'll have to move on from that. And maybe she'll win another immunity, or maybe she is able to get voted out next week and they implode and want to get rid of Sage or something.
And I want to mention this about the immunity real quick, because I know Savannah was defending herself on the internet earlier because people were saying, oh, this was designed for you with the small body, blah, blah, blah. And this is not a knock on Savannah, but I want to say this. Survivor needs to get better at mixing the things up, because in 48, it was all upper body strength. It was like David and Joe were, and then Eva were just like, oh, like, let's do curls today. That sounds like fun. Yeah. And the next episode was like, let's do lats, bro. Like, and now all of a sudden we have like a leg challenge and and then the other one was kind of like with balance, and a lot of it was leg strength. That's 2 episodes in a row. I feel like, I don't know why they get so stuck in one thing. Like, have them do chimney sweep one week and then have them do the curls the next week and then have them do the feet like this. Like, I don't know. I feel like they get too samey, and that's not a knock on Savannah, but I understand why some people are complaining about it. I also understand why she's frustrated, because she's like, look, I still had to sit there and endure the pain. It's not my fault that I just found something that was more comfortable than everybody else.
I honestly just appreciated that it was a different challenge.
Mm-hmm. Now, Alexa, how often do you yell, I'm not dropping, when you're holding a knife in your house? Is that?
Moving forward every single time. Damn it. When you were making the step on toes comment, I was like twitching inside.
Yeah, right. Alexa's like, I can't feel my toe.
Oh my God. I haven't felt my toe in 10 days.
Oh my God.
One thing that I kind of want to open a door for right now, and if you aren't somebody that enjoys curse words, go ahead and push mute for about 15 to 20 seconds. We said mean girl energy. Why is it not something where it's like, somebody call this woman a bitch? Like, that is what Survivor has done for 20 years. Like, that is something where not just any woman, like men call them asshole, bitch. Like, I think that's another layer of energy that is missing from Survivor. Is I don't even want to look bad in confessionals, where it's like, I'll do a weird, crazy eye thing that Sage is doing, and you're getting that intent of this fucking bitch. But nobody is ever saying this fucking bitch anymore. And there's, I think, so many moments that all of us have lived and breathed. And I know I can get loud too. What the fuck, John? Like, we don't have that anymore. And I think if somebody goes, God damn, Savannah, you're such a bitch, I would be like, oh my God, that person's cool as hell now. And like, now that's a rivalry that can breathe. And then there can be an apology, or my bad, I was kind of in the moment. But it just doesn't feel like we have real people. Because how many times, like, even being in a classroom with like 8th graders, that stuff is being thrown around all the time, where it's like, when we're on a network TV show, yes, we're not going to be saying the F word, but it's like, we don't even have people showing real, like, God damn, I can't beat this woman. And I'm going to revert back, because it's like, we have such like PC and fun and like, no, I totally get it. We're all in this together, and whatever happens is supposed to happen. It's like, no, get this bitch out of here. She keeps winning, and I want to vote her out.
I mean, we're watching Karamoan for Patreon. Corinne calls Philip a tubby lunchbox and says, I need this asshole out of here. Like, she can't stand him. And I'm not saying, like, Corinne, I know, is very in the market now because of hot people or whatever. But I do understand, Blake, where you're coming from here, because even in the confessional Christina had last night, she said, I'm sorry, Savannah, but you give Mean Girl energy. It's almost like she was already preemptively acknowledging that it was going to be on TV. This doesn't mean you have to walk around, we're not looking for Alicia from One World who's saying really messed up stuff. We're not looking for that kind of stuff. We're not looking for like actual offensive stuff. But if I'm like, Blake's such a dick, I just can't stand him right now. Or how about when Owen, not in confessional, turns to Sammy and says, Gabler's such a fucking idiot. Like, it's like, that's the kind of stuff that I agree with you, Blake. That feels more natural. And I do feel like too many people know that they're playing a TV show and know that there could be repercussions. And I will say, now that we've already gotten the R rating, if you're going to lose your job or lose your social standing because you call somebody in the heat of the moment when you're starving and angry, a bitch or an asshole or something like that, you got to probably find a new job and find a new social setting anyway, because I think that's a little over the top. And I feel like, how many people when I'm driving around South Florida on 95, how many people do I hope die every day because they're cutting me off?
What's last time we got a flip off on Survivor?
Dude, it's like people are just like trying to crack. They're trying to kill you. They're actively trying to murder me and my family. And so, you get mad, but it's like, I don't know. I agree with where you're coming from, Blake. I don't condone people calling each other bitches, but I understand in the heat of the moment.
But it's reality TV.
Like, I don't even know if it's reality TV. It's also reality. Like what you guys said, like you're driving, like it's a thing that a lot of people speak that way. I think that's an interesting point you said, Blake. Like there's like, frankly, I think we're just not going to see that really ever until we have a player that comes on and doesn't care. But it's like, is there a difference between Phil saying in a confessional, Alexa's such a pain in the ass, versus Phil then saying to my face on the island, you're such a pain in the ass? I actually, as a viewer, would prefer to watch the second version. Like, agreed. I would want to watch them go at it. And I think Savannah knows that she's rubbing people the wrong way. And I want to see that tension,
Nobody's pushing back against Savannah. And I think that's why we're in this weird limbo with her. People say she's a villain. I'm like, she's not a villain. She's not a villain at all. I can root for Savannah.
He's confident.
And also, like, she's not somebody you love to hate.
What's wrong with being? What's wrong with being?
So now Blake's doing this.
Wait, no, put that song
confident.
Whoa. Put that song on as she's like boating into that split tribal with the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
Someone did that.
But it's like, and then she's not a hero though. I hear her backstory. I feel for her, but it doesn't mean that she's a hero. She's not Rupert Level's hero. You know what I mean?
People heroes and villains, like people.
Yeah.
People are Rizos and Savannahs, okay?
And so we hear Savannah saying these things and blah, blah. Why do you think nobody's pushing back?
I don't know.
I think we live in if she gets an idol played for her, I don't want to be the one that gets the blowback. Or like, I think you guys aren't Big Brother people, but Big Brother people, you could have a rival and it doesn't really bite you in the ass because everyone has to, like one person can't knock you out. In Survivor, one person can knock you out with an idol. So you can't clearly say, everybody may like you here, but I hate your ass, because then it's like, oh, clearly I'm going to go home. Like that has happened to at least two people in the Survivor history that I can kind of vaguely remember of, I made sure I know you didn't like me. And then I'm the one who gets idled because clearly I can't work with you moving forward. And there's an idol coming. So if they are worried that Savannah has protection, or maybe Rizo would play the idol for her, it's like, I need to be better than my neighbor of like, Savannah, I like that story you told me. I'm proud of you for winning this. Like that's the kind of gameplay we get, and they're more likely to win $1 million, but they're not going to be on All Stars. Like there's a lot of people that are closer to $1 million, but never All Stars.
They also might, because I'm thinking about like Rome a few seasons ago. Like
he's a villain.
Did not like him, and people told him that on the show, and they said to him and to other people and in confessionals, like, I cannot play because he is here. Like, to me, that sounds like what all three of us are looking for. But I remember watching that and I was like, this is not fun to watch because he's making this game not fun.
You know why? And I really think this is the reason. This is why. There's no other villain there, right? So it's like it's just Rome. Just like last season, it was just Say. Just like this season, it's air quotes just Savannah, because I still don't think she's a villain. The thing was, like, think about Pearl Islands. It was Fair Play and Sandra on the same tribe from day one, screaming at each other nonstop. They're both villains. And so now you're rooting for whichever villain you like more. And because Fair Play gets told off enough times, and because Sandra gets told off enough times, you end up liking them both as the season goes on, because they're both right and they're both wrong enough times. Rome is out there and he's playing the game, and everybody's saying, please just leave me alone. I just want to go do this. That's not the reaction you want to a villain. You want what makes a hero is a hero either goes at the villain and ultimately figures out how to defeat them, or what makes it like a rooting interest on Survivor is it's somebody who's smarter than the villain, who just is better at the game and can talk a little shit about them behind the scenes. And that's what people want. And we're not getting that, because everybody was just saying Rome is so annoying, I can't stand him, I feel bad for Saul. Well, if there's another person to come over and start saying, Rome, back off. If you don't back off right now, I'm throwing you out of this game. Like I'm willing to get eliminated because I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Let's have that kind of personality, because again, talking about Karamoan, you have Brandon Hance getting pulled from the game because he's literally going on the most psychotic rampage in Survivor history. And Corinne is on the other side trying to argue with him, and they're telling her to stop talking. And she's one of the worst people to ever play Survivor. It's amazing. It's really I think that's what we're missing. And I could be wrong about that, but I think that's why you need multiple villains. You need multiple heroes. You need, like, Todd and Courtney are both villains. James and Amanda are both heroes. That's what you need.
Yeah. I like this discussion.
Somebody has to.
I like the idea of it's two villains, but they're not going after a random person. They're going at each other, because I do think
a rivalry. I love a rivalry.
Like Savannah just got in a physical rivalry with Segretti, but then it was, I'm on your side because I know I kind of have to be. And if it was like Segretti did her best to knock out Savannah today too, and it got thwarted, of like if Segretti ever goes, I know Savannah can be somebody I work with, but I want to start winning immunities, I'm going to try and get her out. But like, said that in a flashy way, or like, I think that would be the missing connection of like, this is a very complex thing. And maybe I'm just making shit up, because that would be the coolest thing if we could write fan fiction about this. But if it's not there, it's not there. And the editors can only show us what's there. But like, I think another thing that's in this is Jawan a hero that needs to balance off another hero? Or does Jawan have what it takes to, because he goes, I hate Savannah. Savannah's ruining everything. I didn't vote her out. I didn't vote her out. So Rizo is running things. Like, God, it sucks. Didn't vote him out. And you're like, what?
Alexa's trying to turn her head to get away from this thing at the bottom, but this is from Will GQ9SK. How does Jawan get away with not being a villain? He literally screws over everyone he works with besides Sage, took a reward, and then screwed the person over who gave it to him. But it's like, but what is the confessionals of Jawan? You should feel bad for him. You should be rooting for him. His family life. He grew up without his father. Like all of these different things. I want to earn my own reward. That's not something a villain would do. So I think that's where Jawan falls into this middle zone.
I literally was like, shut your bitch ass up. Eat the chicken. What? Quit doing this. Like, come on, man. Like, that is such a moment where I need somebody like Q to be in the corner being like, just go eat.
Take the dang chicken.
Everyone being like, you deserve it. You haven't eaten. Like, it's going to be okay. Like, how is this the energy for $1 million? It's all casting, by the way. And we do need, like, that's why I think Q is electric and my favorite person from the last 5 years. Like, Q would literally be like, bullshit or whatever, like his version of that, and be like, just go eat the chicken if you want it. Like, do you want it or not? It's the door's open.
I don't know if you guys saw the secret scene, but it was even more of that. Like, they showed the scene where they did the schoolyard pick of who picked two, and they like talked out the reasoning. Unclear why they never put that on the show, because it was actually really interesting. Every single person was like, I am making this choice so that Jawan can win chicken. Like Rizzo picked him first and he was like, I got you. Like, I want you to get chicken. And Jawan was like, do you want me on your team? And Rizzo was like, get over here. I do. Like, and it's all that they all talked about. So again, that to me showed, like, Blake, that's a really good point. Like, this is a game for $1 million. You should be trying to starve him. But also, like, he has a lot of social capital because people were willing to do anything to feed him. And fried chicken is like, that is a banging reward.
Oh, yeah.
Versus grilled cheese or charcuterie board?
I was pro grilled cheese. I love grilled cheese. Charcuterie board, not interested.
No.
Because I think that's another thing that first showed up in my mind in Karamoan is when
Blake, we need to put this up for him. Go ahead, keep talking.
Get out of here.
Blake just did secret scene or secret scene. That's what he put in the chat. And he's clapping for himself right now.
Literally,
he's so proud.
When did the word crate become a word? I swear.
Oh my gosh.
It does.
Well, I think the first time I saw it was Cochrane and Karamoan, where he wins immunity and everyone claps for him. You need to vote those people out. If everyone is doing their best ability to go, Jawan, you need to eat. Jawan has to go or he's going to beat you in Final Tribal. So I'm hoping there is somebody connecting those dots. But it does feel like enough people have said Sage and Jawan are in control for people to realize that and go, we need to not do that.
So yeah. I love this. I love this here from Blake. I think this is a good point that he's making. Jawan, I always say that if it doesn't make the edit, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't count if it's not in the edit. Ultimately, secret scenes don't matter because they figured we don't need this. But if Jawan has that much social capital that they're not airing a schoolyard pick, which we haven't seen in 10 years anyway, maybe the players not voting him out are dumb. I know everybody wants to say Jawan and Sage are dumb because they're not taking the shot at Rizzo and they're not taking the shot at Savannah or Sophie. But maybe everybody else is dumb for not taking out Jawan. And I think that's like the point that nobody's getting to because Jawan doesn't have an idol. Because early on in the season, Jawan wasn't shown as being great at the game. Mm-hmm. But now Jawan has gotten his legs under him. Last night, he had the death confessional. He had the confessional that was, I'm playing so good. I'm in the middle. Everything's great. Me and Sage, everybody comes to us. And I'm waiting for the music to go dun, dun, dun. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you turn and look and it's Savannah going, I hate Jawan. He's an asshole. He steals my bag. He does this. Savannah was giving us that content. And so that's what you're waiting for, right? And it never happened. And I said, oh shit. Is Jawan does Jawan still have a shot here? And Daryl Seymour, who's just been saying the entire time that I'm wrong and I'm wrong and I'm wrong. And look, this is a broken record. Every season, I'm wrong about Kyle. Joe's going to win. I'm wrong about Gabler. If Jesse doesn't win, it's definitely Cassie. I'm like, I get it. It's the same shit every year. I understand. But he says they might not love Jawan, but they respect him. Respect might get you the votes at the end if they don't respect anybody else. If he's sitting next to Christina and Sophie Segretti, he wins. Mm-hmm. If he's sitting next to Sage and Steven, I think he wins. So I'd rather be loved than respected in a lot of situations.
Yeah. The Jawan thing is interesting because it feels like such a switch because in the pre-merge, he was getting all the, like, I can't believe he's, what does he use? So using Savannah's bag, like, so it is like a very quick switch. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. If people respect him enough, they're going to vote for him. And they clearly do.
Yeah. They absolutely respect him. So yeah, that's
that.
One
person we haven't mentioned yet so far, Alex.
Yes.
What you were good yesterday and now you're gone. And I thought it was very much, he connected the dots for everybody, but I don't know if the editors got there all the way of he's playing with everyone. And I was kind of being like, which everyone was he playing with? We saw him talk at the water, but I don't think, like, I think him talking to Rizzo, like, there's no one that believes what they were saying, either side of that. Obviously, that's why Rizzo went and did that. But it's like, is it on Alex to realize that nobody is believing this, or why ultimately do you think Alex went at this point?
I just think that everybody was more worried about the guy who's playing the middle and floating around and going back and forth, and you never feel like he's good with you.
They
I
all
think
laughed at
Alex,
him when he said that when he got voted out.
I know he
So was he
said it,
just
and they go, at
never
least you know,
like was he never a strategic threat or like an actual thought in the game, or like what? I'm just trying to figure out like what kind of elimination was this of like we got to get him now, or like we're just tired that he hasn't picked a side.
It did seem to come out of nowhere a bit because he was really quiet once the merge hit.
Well, so going to confessionals, right? 21 in the first 2 episodes, 23 in the next 7.
Wow.
That's crazy. He just disappeared. And people kept saying he disappeared. I'm like, no, he's still no, he essentially disappeared. And I think it was because the editors really didn't know what to do with him. And it was like too confusing. And it was just, you know what? Why does Alex go home? Because it was Alex's time to go home. I mean, he just had to go because Rizzo said, we got to go after Alex here. And I know a lot of people are saying it's not the right move. Take the shot at Rizzo, take the shot at Rizzo. Here's how I said it last night. And I want to see if you both agree, because this is what I said to Will last night. If you go, and you know Sophie Segretti's going the other way. So if you're Jawan and Sage and you go with Christina, you go with Alex, and you go with Steven, and you vote for Rizzo and Rizzo plays as idol. Now you come back to camp. There are 4 people who are pissed at you. If you go for Rizzo and he doesn't play as idol, he goes home. You come back to camp. There's 3 people who are pissed at you. Jawan and Sage right now are coming back to camp with the least amount of people mad at them that could be mad at them. And the people who are mad at them have nowhere else to go. Christina and Steven have 0 relationship with Savannah, Rizzo, and Soph. So what are they going to do? Be mad at Jawan and Sage? Well, great. You're going to be 8th and 7th then. So I don't necessarily think that this was an awful move because you pissed off the least amount of people as Jawan and Sage. So that was what I said to Will last night. Now, I don't know if I'm jumping through hoops here of logic, but that's just what I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think, I don't know, talking about this, like going back to where we started, I don't feel like it's super obvious who's going to win, because we just to circle back to Steven, I'm like, oh, he doesn't really have a lot of moves right now. So, but I think Christina is the only person who is absolutely not going to win.
Yeah, Christina's.
Yeah, I don't know.
Her move last night to tell Sophie Bolardi about the split, I was just like, what is happening? And I still can't believe it. It's been 24 hours. I'm still in shock.
To tell the person you're splitting and then vote for them is like, they're not gonna be like, oh, I'm glad you wrote my name down and told me. They're gonna literally be mad at you.
I know, telling people about a split it's tough.
Yeah. You're telling the person who's part of the other group of 3 and is very knowingly a part of the other group of 3.
Here's a thing that I got in my head a little bit, read a little bit. I'm wondering what you guys think of our merge. Let's go ahead and say from Nate on, are these people A+ players, B level players, C level players, or less than C level players? Of like, would there be somebody shutting the door on Rizzo and Savannah if there was a third person that was an A+ level player? If there was someone like Camilla working against Rizzo and Savannah, would she have gotten them eliminated? I'm just trying to be like, it feels like there's some passive players. I'm answering the question for you. There's some passive players. There's some people that maybe are making dumb mistakes, but not knowing they are. And that is letting the door open for Savannah and Rizzo and Sophie.
I think what we're being shown is that if there was a Camilla on the other side, there would be more of a battle. Mm-hmm. That's how it's being presented to us.
That's what I think too. And I feel like right now the problem is the killers are all on the same alliance.
Yeah.
So how would they lose the game? That's why I just don't see Steven winning. Maybe I don't see a way.
Come a killer.
Yeah. You don't vote
for
Sage was a killer with Shannon, but it's because she didn't like her. You know, she has it in her.
I don't think we need all A+ players, because then that kind of leads to like Survivor Season 8, All Stars 1, where you're like, this kind of gets angry and testy.
You think those were all A+ players?
No, gotcha.
Alicia Cowboy has to have words.
Well, Tina went home first. She's the best player ever, So 16-1 was her things that she what is it called? Average together. I'm trying not to be like Jawan sucks. I don't think he sucks, but I think he is somebody that like, oh, he's the figurehead and maybe he's bad from playing from the top. Like I think that comes into play a lot as we talk about stuff of like Jawan can work his way up, but I also think Jawan can fall down a chute just as much as he can climb up a ladder.
But what if Jawan wins? Because this is what happened to Kyle last season. People were talking about Kyle like he was so dumb all season. And that's where history repeating. We're back. They talked about him like he was so dumb.
Rizzo domination or history repeating. All right. I will officially vote Rizzo domination. Somebody from Rizzo's 3 wins, not
wait
else.
Okay. Sophie Bellarity winning is different than Rizzo or Savannah winning. The argument right now is that they got to be getting rid of Savannah or Rizzo. So will Savannah or Rizzo win, or will it be somebody else? Because Sophie Bellarity is not lumped in with Savannah and Rizzo right now. People are saying you got to get rid of Savannah and Rizzo. They're not saying you got to get rid of Sophie.
Maybe Savannah or Rizzo do win. I walked into this podcast and I was like, I don't think they're going to win. And now I think I just got talked to.
I will say 98.6% one of Savannah or Savannah wins this season.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's the death now right there. Poor Savannah. Congratulations on your 3rd place finish. We still love you.
I just think the people yearned for a Parvati every season. Here it is. Why don't you like her more? Why are you trying to find reasons to be like, this kind of sucks when this is the coolest shit ever? Of like, I thought there was somebody online where I just wanted to punch through the computer immediately, where it was like, oh, Savannah can't even talk trash correctly. She said, I'm staying on. And then she said, I'm staying on again, and didn't change it at all. I was like, that's what you're mad about?
Like, was this on like a preschool forum or something? Like
Reddit preschool survivor.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was stone cold that she said nothing else. She just
I agree.
That was like cold. I loved it.
We got to get, you know what we got to do, Blake? I know you want to do the subathon later on in December and stuff. We got to do with something where like we just bring on people who talk so much shit on the internet and to us, and let them actually sit here and see if they'll be like Steven trying to explain after the immunity necklace, or we'll be like, it's like,
bro, that was crazy. I forgot about that one.
That's like this like ESPN show I used to watch. She would bring on those guys who would tweet like, I could have made that field goal, and she brings them in and has them try to kick the field goal. It's so good.
It's so good. It's so good. And like, that's what we need. We need the people who talk the most shit to come on and sit here and try to just like be mean. We'll have Savannah sit here and just be like, actually, you're stupid. And they'll be like, you said that. That's so mean. How could you say that? It's awful. It's awful. The internet is a hell of a place. And yeah, anyway.
I think if Kyle was the dog that didn't bark, or the person who didn't vote out the people in his alliance that were threatening because he's the actual threat, I think they're not going to go back to the same well right away. And I also
48 was great though. They love 48.
I also think a jury may not like. Unfortunately, Kyle was the best. Kyle was a lawyer, right? Like he's a lawyer. Like he's the best talker. Is Savannah not going to be the best talker in her final tribal council if she goes?
All right, rank the players remaining, and then we can leave. Rank the players remaining in terms of who has the best chance to win to who has the worst. I want Alexa to go first so her opinion can't be skewed by Blake, because Blake's opinion is going to be so set in stone. So Alexa, you're up first.
Christina.
That's who you think wins?
Yes. Christina, yeah. And then nobody else. I go Christina, Sophie, Blue, Steven, Sage. Crap, I need Yellow, Sophie, Jawan, Rizzo, Savannah.
So you think Savannah wins?
I actually do think she wins.
But you
national.
also just said Sophie Bolerdi was 7th place.
I don't see what you see, Phil. I'm really
That's
sorry.
crazy.
When you said that earlier today, I was like, is he talking about the right person?
She's locked in. She's locked in.
I like her a lot, but I might have to rewatch my binge. I don't know. I feel like she's been so quiet.
You're gonna rewatch your binge. I like that.
Yeah,
I have to binge again.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Blake, what do you got? Sorry, Alex. We'll get back. I want to hear what Blake says first here, and then we'll get back.
I'll do 8 is Sophie Segretti. 7 is Christina Mills. Then I'll do 6 is Steven. 5 is 5 is hard. I'll do 5 is Sage. 4 is Jawan. Then 3 is Sophie. No, 3 is Rizo. 2 is Sophie. 1 is Savannah.
Okay. I think that this is wide open. I
really
do
too. This was very difficult.
Yeah, and Blake struggling there around 5. That I think I would go Christina 8, Sophie Segretti 7, yellow Sophie, not blue Sophie. I'm not crazy. 7. I would go Steven 6. Those, and even Steven, I still give a chance. But then at 5,
I would love Steven.
I just think
he had Steven's number 1 earlier.
See, this is where people just misconstrue. I think Steven has a chance, and everybody else is writing him off saying he has no shot. So I'm giving the reason why I think he can win. Still think I would probably say he's a 5% chance of winning. Most people think he has 0% chance of winning.
So this is what Phil just said.
No, I like this arc. I agree, Phil. I'm with you there.
I also have Steven at 6. I just feel bad about it.
No, I don't feel bad about it. But this is the difference between you and I, Blake. I understand because I understand that if somebody has a 60% chance to win, that means that there's 40% left over for everybody else. Whereas you just go, Joe has a 98.6% chance, so nobody else can even have a 1% chance. That's just not how math works.
It's doing a power ranking versus a pie chart. Like we're power ranking, so somebody has to be in second to last place. But if you do it in a pie chart, then Steven has a 15% chance to win. You can still put him at number 6 or 7, but power ranking is maybe not like the best option. But we're doing both, which is great.
We're doing both. And I think Steven has the 6th best chance to win, but I think that he ultimately still has a chance. I think Sage is 5. I think Savannah is 4. I think Rizo is 3. I think Jawan is 2. And I think Sophie Bolerdi is 1. That's what I said.
Jawan is our, I think, like average highest.
Because Jawan's actually the winner. I saw him pop up on the guy who does. I don't know if this is like a legit guy or not. I have no idea. I just one of the person who's been posting the confessional counts on our Survivor also posted like Edgic and contenders, and Jawan just popped up for the first time, and I was like, oh shit, he is. He's in the top 3. Told you. Told you. So yeah, I think that for me, there's 6 people who can win this game. I would not be surprised if any of them win. It's not like right now the Giants can still technically make the playoffs, right? They're 2-9, but they can make the playoffs. They just need that's not how I feel about any of the 6 people who I think can win. I think that if Savannah or Rizo was going to win this season and they were going to be on 50, their edits would be so much bigger than everybody else on the season. And that's not the case. And a lot of people are, no, Savannah's been all over the place, blah, blah. Savannah has 3 big episodes. One of them had to be a big episode because she did the swap or whatever, the tribe split. Another one, she finally got to go to tribal council for the first time. So, yeah, like she has 3 big episodes, but she has 58 confessionals. Sophie Bolerdi has 45. A gap of 13 is nothing, especially when 34 of those are in 3 episodes.
I didn't realize Sophie had that many episodes.
And then we have Daryl Seymour says their edits are so big. Rizzo's edit is like the 4th biggest one on the season right now.
Yeah, he just has a voice that carries.
He's got the 3rd most confessionals, and he's 4th in terms of confessional time.
Okay, this is what I was waiting for. Will GQ9SK rolls off the tongue?
It does.
If she steals Rizzo's idol, that's it. That is it. Stealing Christina's is not interesting to me. I want her to pull a tie. I want her to screw over Jason and Scott and Jason. That would be insane.
Because did you read somebody's idea in chat? I'm not exactly remembering who it exactly was, but what is the big pop moment where we're putting the 3 people on jury's reaction where they're going, what?
Probably an analogy.
Yeah, the kangaroo story.
Driving the bus. The kangaroo's driving the bus. And they're, what? It's probably knowledge is power time. Would they have that reaction of Christina losing her idol? Or we don't know. We've never seen a knowledge is power played correctly. So would it be, why would Sophie steal Rizzo's and then it's a bait and switch to be like, now Rizzo's can be voted for and they all vote for Rizzo and then Sophie plays it on Rizzo anyway?
That'd be insane.
That would be insane. That'd be incredible.
That's what somebody in the chat thinks happens, which would be, you guys just have that pop. I think the jury would have that kind of pop for that. Look at us.
That would be crazy. I think if Sophie stole Rizzo's idol, she would be making a game-winning and game-losing move because she'd ensure Rizzo doesn't win and she'd probably ensure Savannah doesn't win. She'd put herself in the best story if she gets to the end, but then everybody's would be like, dude, she got to go. Yeah. Like, get out of here. You're scary. Yeah. That would be way cooler. I think ultimately it's just her stealing Christina's and everybody's like, whoa, we didn't know she had that. That's what I think. Anyway, Sophie Bellardi, number 1. That's it. And yes, I also want to say this now because I see Daryl's comment. I think Steven goes next. If Steven goes next, I'm not surprised at all. I just think he has a better chance to actually win than Christina or Sophie Segretti. Just because somebody gets voted out before them. Like, that's like Natalie Tenorelli never had a chance to win. So, like, Andrea had a better chance to win, even though Andrea went home first. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, my God. Bring back Andrea, dude.
Yo, rewatching the Brandon thing. I mean, she was at the Brandon thing and she was at the like, that's crazy.
This girl.
She went through. No wonder she went crazy. She went through. She's not crazy. She just, and she had to live with Philip the whole first season.
She's on like the 3 most brutal seasons.
Seriously. If Andrea is ever on another season of Survivor, we'll skip that one. Yeah. We'll do somebody else. Alexa, you can come back and you can podcast that because I'm not.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'd be happy to. This was so much fun. I would love to come back if you'll have me.
Every Thursday.
We'll have to think about it.
I'm down next Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be live with somebody who's not in the US, but yes, I never give up.
Wait, that's Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Blake,
I'm gonna have to bring this microphone to Palm Springs.
We got Ollie from Survivor Now. He's doing it next time because he's in the UK. So there you go.
So he's like down to podcast.
He does, and I have Omer the Sunday after because he's like
actually
Thanksgiving.
So funny. I love that.
So,
this week we're going international.
I love this. We just needed Alexa in her Jimmy Stewart Rear Window days to finally come back and start podcasting with us again. But she's here. She's
happy to be back. Happy to be back. My foot's falling asleep, so I do need to log off.
Yeah, Alexa needs to like get up and just go to the bathroom just so she can get blood back in her foot.
Just to feel alive.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also want to say, if you made it this far, if you're one of the 98 people who's listening this far in, we are running a 50% Patreon discount now through the finale. So for the first month, you would get 50% off. So if you want to test out Patreon for a month in our build-up, go ahead and check it out. That's it. We're talking about Philippines now. Karamoan's coming up soon. We got casting, Survivor Rewind, all this crazy stuff, rock draws, movies, Teg Talks, so many things going on over on the Patreon. Go check it out. You can get 50% off for your first month if you subscribe between now and the finale. As Riz God says, keep grinding, King. Unfortunately for Alexa, she will not be on the dance floor doing that. So she is stuck.
King.
Yeah, she is stuck. But anyway, thank you all so much for listening. Always a pleasure, Alexa. And we will see everybody. Oh, McKenna and John are coming up. Rewind. And McKenna and Kyle are doing Amazing Race. So there's 2 more episodes tonight if you want to stay on the channel.
Wowee.
Are they going to say bitch, though?
No, Blake, they're not going to say fucking bitch.
Oh, my God. I just want to say, here's